Wait, before the video starts, go down to the comments and let me know which types of seeds you want to see next. Mansions. That's right, we are checking out woodland mansion seeds today. These seeds are for Java Edition. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you know whenever I share more incredible Minecraft seeds. Alright, let's roll that intro. Let's go ahead and start off with this seed with some pretty awesome terrain. A dark forest biome is right next to a windswept savanna, so that causes some unique looking terrain. I'm giving you the coordinates to the front door of every mansion in this video. The generation placement of the mansion is really cool. Seeing it surrounded by all of that terrain is just awesome. Inside of the mansion, on the top floor, there are 9 rooms, which includes 3 chicken rooms. Just thought that was kind of funny. Now let's check out this seed that has a spawn on the edge of a dark forest hill. Around spawn, you'll also find a windswept forest, a swamp, birch forest, windswept savanna, and old growth pine taiga. The mansion itself is partly covered in land. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, these sheep are just living on the mansion roof, and you can see parts of the land generate in the mansion. Let's go ahead and see this seed with a pretty big mansion. For some mansions, you get a really small top floor. You know, maybe just 1, 2, 3 rooms. This one has 9 rooms on the top floor, which you actually have to break into to see most of them. And break into this secret one with a loot. You can see on the outside that the top floor is pretty huge. I also just want to show this village too. It's really cool seeing how this generates, with it going up the side of the mountain, and with a lot of it in the water. In this seed, a mansion isn't the only thing you'll find at spawn, but it is where we'll be starting off. I actually spawned into this world on top of the mansion. The mansion generates partly in an ocean. For some size perspective, the top floor of this mansion has 9 rooms, which includes this hidden room. You may have already noticed that there is a ruined portal right in front of the mansion entrance, so that's a pretty cool place for it to generate. And you get some more loot here too. In the ocean, right next to the mansion, is a shipwreck. It's a spruce and oak shipwreck, and another place for some loot too. And finally, there's another shipwreck nearby spawn too. This one generates on the edge of a sparse jungle. It's a big spruce and dark oak ship. There's quite a bit to check out right at spawn in this seed. In the next seed, we spawn in a grove on the edge of some jagged peaks. Pretty awesome looking mountains right at spawn. And what an incredible place for the mansion to generate. The mountains behind the mansion just look awesome. Also, the mansion foundation stretching a bit high up is kinda cool. Oh, and this little piece of stony shores mixed with other biomes is cool too. We have a mansion at a pretty high elevated Y level here. That's because it mostly generates within a windswept forest biome. Due to those factors, the roof of the mansion actually generates covered in snow. You can see the cobblestone foundation of the mansion stretching up here, and over here, the windswept forest generates around the mansion. Now we have a seed with some pretty awesome terrain near spawn. A windswept savanna actually generates right nearby, so it creates some awesome looking terrain. That includes this birch forest stretching up into the sky, and this dark forest too. Of course, the mansion generating here looks awesome too. Seeing the wild terrain around it just looks really cool. The mansion is a decent size too, with 9 rooms on the top floor, which includes this hidden room with obsidian and a diamond block. Here we have a seed with a mansion on a beach. You can see that there's a pretty decent sized beach next to a dark forest. The entrance of the mansion actually generates within the ocean. On the middle floor of the mansion, I found an arena room which has some loot. And on the top floor, there are 5 rooms, including another arena room, again with loot, and this hidden spider spawner room. I also just want to quickly mention this village near spawn. It generates partly in a sparse jungle, partly in a river, and it has 2 church buildings. Now let's check out one of my favorite seeds in this video. This is actually a mansion island seed. The island generates as a stony shore, beach, birch forest, and dark forest. This island over here is pretty funny with it being a beach and having the ever so tiniest piece of taiga on it. The entrance of the mansion is pretty much in the center of the island. I like how the mansion stretches down deep into the ocean. It looks pretty cool. Southwest of the island, you can find a mushroom island. This is actually a really small mushroom island. Not sure I've ever seen many much smaller. To the northeast of the mansion island, you can find an ocean monument. There are other ocean monuments throughout the ocean, but this is the closest. This ocean monument is actually a stop to our final location, which is a mushroom island. This island is probably closer to the size of the mushroom island that is expected. Definitely bigger than the first one we saw. Of course though, this seed all starts off by spawning into the world on an island with a woodland mansion. We go from a seed with an island surrounded by water to a seed with a mansion surrounded by water. That's right, the mansion in this seed generates in a cove area and it's fully surrounded by water on all sides. In addition to water around the mansion, you will find the dark forest, a jungle, and a birch forest. Inside of the mansion, I found a maze room on the bottom floor, a chicken room on the middle floor, and I counted 12 rooms on the top floor. Getting into the final 10 seeds, we got a pretty cool one, I'd say. Getting into the world, it looks just like a typical woodland mansion seed. The front entrance of the mansion is facing a taiga, you've got some cool terrain stretching around the mansion, but aside from that, it looks pretty normal. However, if you go over to the eastern side of the mansion, you see a big cave, and it's actually a lush cave. Kind of cool seeing the mansion stretch down into the cave. Having a lush cave generate behind the mansion like this is just really awesome. In this next seed, we have one of my classic Minecraft mansion village seeds. I don't know how many of these seeds I've shown across videos on my channel, but I sure do always love to find them. Just east of spawn in this seed is the Plains Village. Most of the village generates within a meadow biome, with a small bit generating inside of the dark forest biome. I love how this mushroom generates between the two buildings. You can see that the terrain of the meadow biome is pretty cool with it stretching above a forest in plains biome. The entrance of the mansion is pointing towards the village. On the bottom floor, I found this room with a chest at the end of it. It's a fairly average sized mansion with 6 rooms on the top floor, including this hidden room where you can find 2 chests in the ceiling. Terrain around the mansion is pretty cool too, with much of it being elevated pretty high, and this cave forming here towards the south just looks incredible. Really awesome seed here around spawn. Next up, let's take a look at this seed that's pretty unique. That's because there's a really small dark forest biome at spawn. You can see on the map that darker green section fully surrounded by the lighter green of the birch forest. So of course the mansion generates in that small biome. I love how the terrain stretches above the mansion here. It looks really awesome. This is a relatively small mansion with only 4 rooms on the top floor, but one of those is this hidden room with loot. Now we have a seed with a few things near spawn that I think are worth checking out. Of course, that includes the woodland mansion. This one generates right on the edge of that spawn jungle and next to a small section of stony peaks. The size of the mansion is absolutely massive. I mean, look how much cobblestone that is. Underneath the mansion, we can find some lush caves. I'm giving you the coordinates directly to my favorite section. It's a big, vast area of lush caves down here. Also near spawn, you can find a Mesa biome. The darker orange and red sections of the map represent the Mesa biome. So that's always a nice thing to have near spawn. And finally, I want to mention that there is this desert temple around the Mesa area. The desert stretching up alongside the Mesa is pretty interesting looking. Of course, a desert temple comes along with 4 chests of loot at the bottom of it. So yeah, a pretty cool seed here with quite a few things to check out around spawn. Here is a seed with a mansion right next to an ocean. The front entrance of this mansion actually generates as some water. In fact, much of the mansion actually generates in water. This is a pretty big mansion with 9 rooms on the top floor, including this arena room with some loot, and this hidden spider spawner room, and this hidden obsidian and diamond block room. In the ocean near spawn, you can find an ocean monument. It's only about 200 blocks away from the mansion. Definitely awesome having it so close to spawn. Getting into the final 5 seeds here, we are seeing something that I've tried so hard to find in Minecraft Java Edition. I often see Bedrock Edition seeds with mansions with cobblestone stretching up high, like those that are shown by Minecraft and Chill. With QBiome's viewer and the help of Reddit user Jero, I've finally had success in finding some in Java Edition. We've seen a few already like this in Seed 7, but this one here is probably my favorite. I think this one is my favorite because you can see with the terrain around it how naturally tall the mansion is. The mountain terrain around it just looks really crazy, pretty wild, just really awesome terrain. Underneath the mansion, you can find a Lush cave mineshaft. I love finding mineshafts in the new cave types. It just always looks really cool. So yeah, pretty awesome tall mansion seed here. When I spawned into this world, the first thing I noticed was some floating land above me. But then I noticed that there's a mansion and a pillager outpost right next to each other. I think these two structures just look like they are meant to be near each other. Obviously, that's due to the block types and nature of the structures. The mansion generates in a dark forest, taiga, and next to a river. On the bottom floor, I found a maze room. On the middle floor, I found this giant cat. And on the top floor, I counted 5 total rooms, including this hidden room with 2 chests in the ceiling. As for the outpost, it generates with 2 tents, a golem cage, 2 sets of scarecrow targets, and a log collection. Of course, you also get the loot at the top of the outpost if you want it. There's also a village fairly close by. It's a taiga village that partly generates in a forest. There are 2 blacksmith buildings in the village with some loot inside. So yeah, a pretty cool seed here. Entering the final 3 seeds, we're going to combine a woodland mansion with the specialty of Minecraft 1.18 mountains. But before getting to that, you will notice right near spawn, there is this big cave opening. It leads right down to a lush cave. The cave is huge. Definitely really awesome finding that right next to spawn. As you can see, the mansion in this seed generates partly within a grove in Jagged Peaks biome. Those biomes generate partly on top of the mansion. It's kinda cool seeing trees on top of the mansion. I really like seeing terrain generate over mansions like this. Speaking of which, check this out here. This part is almost fully covered by the mountain, and underneath it is a lush cave. Another spot where we can see the village stretch down to the bottom of the cave. Adding the lush cave to this already awesome location just really makes this that much more special. Just an incredible location to find. In this seed here, we have one of the craziest things I've ever found in Minecraft. I mean, there's not much I need to say to describe how cool this is. How often do you see a jungle temple generate right on top of a mansion? Not very often, I bet. Inside of the jungle temple is just as you'd expect. It's got 2 chests with loot inside of it, along with the redstone contraptions. As for the mansion, the northern side generates going into a hill, and some of it generates next to a bamboo jungle. On the second floor, we can see the bottom of the temple, and on the top floor, there is a secret room where you can see the temple going into it. Going into the top section, there are 2 chests with loot, and you can see the temple going into here too. This seed is just absolutely wild, and it was a bit of an honor to be the one to discover it, honestly. Finally, to finish off this video, we have a seed that is one of my favorites that I've discovered so far in Minecraft 1.18. A zombie village generates right next to a mansion. According to the Minecraft wiki, a village has only a 2% chance of generating as an abandoned village. So we have the rarity of it being a zombie village, and then it's right next to a mansion. Just awesome. But it's not just next to the mansion, as it actually leads into the mansion with the paths, and then a building generates inside of this mansion room. How cool is that? I mean, I think that's pretty incredible. This seed also has some really marvelous looking mountains, and when you travel over to them, you can see that they're actually dripstone mountains. I love when dripstone caves generate on the surface of mountains like this. Just adds to how awesome the mountains really are. With a village building inside of the mansion, this was a fantastic seed to end off this video with. Well, there you have 20 woodland mansion seeds that are working for Minecraft 1.18 on Java Edition. The terrain may be similar in Bedrock Edition for some seeds, but structures will not be. Let me know which one of the seeds in this video is your favorite. And if you want to help me out, feel free to leave a like on this video. For more Minecraft videos, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for all of my future videos. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy. I'm out of here. See ya.